Welcome, So-La-Rah here. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to welcome you if you are a returning subscriber. Thank you for being here, especially those of you who've been here from the beginning. I appreciate all of your support. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome if you're newly subscribed. Welcome if you have stumbled upon this video because you've been drawn in by the title. I invite you to stay and see if there are any messages that are going to resonate with what it is you're going through, or any information that's going to help you with what you're going through. Yeah, with all things when it comes to life in general, but especially with tarot and, this kind of stuff, please only take what resonates and throw out what doesn't. Okay? These readings are always to confirm what it is that you are already intuitively picking up for yourself. They're here to bring confirmation and to help boost your own confidence in terms of your own intuitive guidance, as well as to help you put together the pieces or details. That's kind of what readings should really be for at this stage. So yes, I'm coming on today. I actually wasn't going to come on. I was going to take a few more days off, but I'm coming on today because I've been feeling very weird energy, and not like a weird energy like anything to be afraid of or anything. It's more like stuff is beginning to unfold. Let's put it that way. I had a few dream downloads, and I really wanted to get into this energy and dive into it and see what it's all about. So as I record, it is Wednesday, May the 31st. It is the final day of May. We are heading. We're like 8 minutes from midnight, 8 minutes from June here where I am, and an hour out from the moon moving out of Libra, Four of Swords energy, into Scorpio, which will be Five of Cups energy, okay? And I believe these next few days of the moon being in Scorpio, there's going to be quite a few things exposed, especially to those of you who are needing confirmation, but especially intuitively also. I feel like a lot more is going to start coming in, and when a lot more starts to come intuitively, it's kind of getting you ready for what's going to occur materially. This full moon in Sagittarius that's coming up on Sunday, Sagittarian energy. If you break down the word Sagittarius in Gematria, which is where each letter of the alphabet has a specific numerical value. When you add up the letters of Sagittarius in Gematria, it breaks down to 144. And I often say that Sagittarian energy is the energy of the truth liver. Okay, so Scorpio energy, we're moving here like the moon in Scorpio. Now, Scorpio energy is here to help us collectively see truth. So Scorpio energy helps us to dive in and to find out information that we wouldn't otherwise see if we didn't choose to dive deep, right? So in that sense, Scorpionic energy is very detective-like. It likes to go into the dark to uncover what is hidden, what is buried, really, is what it is. And not for nothing, right now I believe the nodes are at 2 degrees Scorpio, and as the nodes get tighter and they move towards that 0 degree mark in Scorpio and Taurus, more will be being divulged of the things that have been hidden in the dark, but especially when it comes to how both our personal and collective value have been messed with in the matrix system. And this full moon in Sagittarius that is occurring at 13 degrees, I believe it's 13 degrees. The sun will be 13 degrees Gemini, 13 degrees Sagittarius. If you want to break that down in tarot speak, minor arcana, that would be the Nine of Swords for Gemini energy, and the Nine of Wands. So the full moon that is happening on Sunday, the minor arcana energies are the Nine of Swords for the sun and the Nine of Wands for the moon. So when you think about that, the sun and the Nine of Swords is all about the exposure of that which has tried to keep certain individuals in mental entrapments, also kept them contained and alone. A lot of targeted individuals have been dealing with energies that have sought to keep them contained in ways that a lot of us aren't even fully aware of. And I mean like in energetic cages surrounded by frequency fences where you were so controlled and you thought you were living in freedom. And I'm not really going to get into that right now because I want to get into the cards in this energy. But I say all of that because there's something about this full moon in Sagittarius that is going to be shining a light into a lot of that energy in your own realities. I believe that some of the information you need around your own containment, specifically how mental magic has been used to contain you and to isolate you, is going to come out. With the moon, with the Nine of Wands, this is really about, and it's a full moon, so it is double illumination. So with the full moon and the Nine of Wands energy, it is about showing more of the darker energies and secrets that surround the battles that you've had to go through alone. That's what the Nine of Wands energy for me is as a reader. It really is about the generational curse breaker. It's very connected to Chiron energy. It's the wounded healer energy. For some of you, the very information or confirmation you need within your own soul that you need in order to overcome your Chiron energy. So you're no longer the wounded healer, but you are the one who has ascended from that position, and you are now in a position to heal others because you've healed yourself. That transition is very much possible with this full moon. Yeah, the Chiron energy. Okay, what else? Sagittarius energy, it comes to liberate also. It's one of the liberating energies of the zodiac. There are some signs that are really here to aid us in our own liberation. Virgo would be one. Sagittarius would be another, and Scorpio kind of helps us too by giving us the information, and Sagittarius energy helps us to act on it. So the Sagittarius full moon is also about bringing full enlightenment to who we say we are, or who we believe we are, but then also it's giving full enlightenment to who and what people really are, especially because of the shift in the nodes and what is happening also, planetarily with everything else. And that Mars in Leo, whoosh, that energy is fire right now, and it's to be used and alchemized to seek your justice and to fight for yourself. To fight for yourself and to fight for truth and to fight for others too. If that's what you've come here for also. If you are one of those warriors that is here to fight not only for yourself but for the collective, then this Mars and Leo energy, that is what it's supposed to be, firing up inside of us. It in its egoic or its unevolved state, shadow state, it can cause a lot of competition. It can cause a lot of arguing. It can cause a lot of, rising up in woundedness and just, fighting. But in its evolved conscious state, that Mars and Leo energy is here to seek and enact justice specifically for the wounded child. And this Chiron energy that I'm picking up on too, I know Chiron is still in Aries also, so that in and of itself is like a fighting for self, right? But there's something about this full moon in Sagittarius that's coming up that's also about the breaking of, and I've spoken about this in many readings prior, one way it feels like they really try to fuck with us as divine beings or targeted beings is that they played with our astrological charts a lot. And they played especially with our Chiron placements, trying to magnify the wounded experience that we would have through our Chiron placements so that we would not ascend from being wounded into being the healer. And that is transforming right now. For as long as we are not falling prey to the mind magic that is very prevalent in Gemini season. Gemini, the reason why there are two faces or there are twin energies is also because Gemini is the energy where we can get lost in double-mindedness, meaning that we cannot find our center in what it is we want to think and ground that energy. That's the danger. The beauty of the Gemini energy is that it helps us to think big. But in the thinking big, we can get lost and we can lose focus. And the thing about it is that they like this energy because the powers that were and the ones that are still trying to maintain some false semblance of control over you and your mind specifically, this is a battle over your mind and your consciousness, they like to use mental magic. And so like Mercury retrogrades, they love. Gemini season, they love, because that Gemini energy that is here to help us explore our own, explore and expand the horizons of our own limitations. That's what it's there for, but they like to use the devolved or shadow aspect of it in that it can keep us mentally confused, discombobulated, even to the point where it brings despair. This Gemini energy is one where they also like to cast a lot of unaliving mental energy spells. And you can see that with the minor arcana and what that is also with the Gemini, the 8, 9, and 10 of swords. And I always tell people with these, when you're wanting to like understand and overstand how the tarot works and how it manifests as an energy into your reality, you must follow the energies of the suits and how they move, okay? So an energy manifests from the wands, which is spirit, through the mental planes, which is swords, through your emotions, which is the fuel, emotions, energy in motion. It's what provides the fuel to bring the actual physical manifestation, which is pentacles. Okay, so the mental planes, the mental energy, your thoughts, other people's thoughts, your words, other people's words, and not just people, energy, because you're also dealing with entities. It works through the sword. So by the time you get to the Gemini energy of the swords, the 8, 9, 10, you've already been through the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the sword suit is all about power plays. Historically, the tarot, the sword suit was supposed to represent not necessarily the aristocracy, but more like the governing agencies of the time. So the ones who were in charge of how power was distributed really is what it is, but also it had to do a lot with real-time war. That's the sword's energy of the tarot. Like, I think the wands energy was more about like artisans and, those who were athletic. This is where we get these energies from. But the swords, when you get into the swords energy, by the time you get to the 8, 9, and 10 of swords in the tarot, you're dealing with the full culmination of what has occurred through the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of swords. And if you know anything about those cards, You begin with the Two of Swords, which is all about trying, either being very stubborn and wanting to be blind, or energies that try to blind you. Okay, and even try to mess with the moon. You have, that energy. The Three of Swords is about is the introduction of an energy that is trying to disempower or disenfranchise. Right. The Four of Swords is the recovery from that betrayal. By the time you get into the Five of Swords, it's all about cutting down. It's a murderous energy. It's a slanderous gossip energy that continues with the Seven of Swords, where it's trying to get away with things. The Six of Swords is moving away from that energy, only oftentimes to run into the Seven of Swords, where someone tries to pull the wool over your eyes. It's gaslighting. I say all of this because the culmination of the swords is all about gossip. It's all about slander. It's all about the power plays. It's all about the mind control. It's all about the mind fuckery. It's all about the gaslighting. It's all about those mental games that people play to eventually get us into the 8, 9, and 10 of swords, where we don't even know our own thoughts. We don't even know what to think. We don't even realize at a certain point that the things that are coming through our mind don't even belong to us. That's what those energies are there to facilitate, okay? So this is what they want to play on when you get to Gemini season. They want to play on the fact that you don't know your own mind. And to that extent, the energies that start to come during Gemini season, it's really important to know your own mind and to know what it is that you're thinking versus thoughts that are trying to be implanted. And right now, with all of these flying entities, they're coming around to gossip. They're coming around to slander. They're coming around to gossip to you about you and tell you some fucked up things about yourself that are no longer true. And they're coming around to try to get between you and your solid relationships to talk shit about other people. And this is why you must know the truth about who you are, and you must know the truth about others and how you truly feel about them. So at every turn, you can cast down those arguments and vain imaginations. That's what the Bible calls it. When it speaks about warfare, it tells us we are to cast down every argument and vain imagination and bring it into submission to the truth. Because it's speaking about warfare. It's a battle for your mind. It's a battle for your consciousness, because if they can get into your mind, because you are an emotional magician, I've spoken about this in other videos, you are an empath. You have that access to your heart because you are a child of Source and you're still connected to Source. You still have that emotional resonance. They want you to run away with their mental cues, and then for you to grow that energy with your emotions so that you then create a reality for yourself that they're dictating to you, but you don't even realize it. I hope I'm making sense, because I know it's a lot. But this is where we are right now. And the full moon in Sagittarius is coming to bring us more clarity. It's coming to put to death a lot of this. It's a 13-degree energy. 13 degrees is the energy of the death card. It's scorpionic. It's transformative. Certain things must die in order for certain new energies to be born. It's an intense moon. And because we are moving further back with the nodes, that's what it is. But I want to get into this energy. First card that's come out. Yep, I knew it would. Rich people, sick shit. So there's a sibling, okay? Rich people, sick shit. There is a sibling who tried to sell someone out. They've tried to sell someone out a few times. The sibling is involved in some kind of initiation process through a coven, through an order, through a society, and they have perpetually been connecting to your energy. If this is your reading, they have been perpetually attaching themselves to your energy in order to gain access to your divine resources. And they've been doing it on behalf of whatever group they're a part of as part of their initiation process. Whatever it is a sibling is getting, they've been getting access. Some of them have been getting fame. Some of you, these are people in your life who are full-on celebrities. Okay, they've been getting, all manner of access by way of sacrificing you, connecting to your energy, doing all manner of things. Okay. If this is your reading, this has been going on for a while. You might have been trying to clear this person out of your energy for a very long time, okay? And I feel like for many of you, you have been successful in doing that. But the issue is that this person doesn't know when to leave well enough alone because of what it is they've gotten themselves into. Okay, these kinds of contracts are not the kinds of contracts where you can just be like, oh, I don't feel like it anymore. Once you get to a certain level, you got to go all the way. Okay, and this sibling has gone all the way. And what was showing up to me in dream time was a wedding. Okay, there was a wedding of some kind, and it was occurring at a place. I'm not going to name the place, but it's a very well-known place globally for worship and for grand celebrations like weddings. Okay, and it has a deep history, a deep Masonic history. Okay, yes, I'm going to leave it at that. But this was where this wedding was taking place, okay? And when I began to ask my guides what this information was about, they began to speak to me about May, the month of May. We are now officially the 1st of June, okay? Because it's just after midnight here. Pinch and a punch for the first of the month. I don't know if y'all do that, but we do that over here in the UK, or we used to when I was a kid. Anyway. The month of May is a really interesting time on the occult calendar. They have all manner of things that they adhere to throughout the calendar year. But May tends to be a very big month from May 1st all the way to May 31st. There's a lot of things that go on ceremonially in the world of Masons, all manner of orders and societies that are big time harvesters. The month of May is big for their sacrifices, yes, but also for a lot of their ceremonial shit that's tied into that too. Let's put it that way. And there's something here about this sibling was supposed to keep attached or connected to you in order to marry you off to an entity, or in order to bind you to an entity. But they use the word marriage, and this is why they were showing me wedding. They use the word marriage because this had a lot to do with putting a permanent block in your ability to come into union with your divine partner. And if you are in union already, to collapse that, or to create blocks within your situation with your divine partner where you never actually come into union. Because you can be with your divine partner and not be in union yet, because that requires a certain level of obtaining your divine frequency and them doing the same. I don't know if I really want to get into that right now, because I have downloads about that too, like how they utilize frequency fences so that even when people are together, they're never really on the same wavelength, right? You have to be on the same wavelength as another to go forward with them, which means you need to be operating at the same frequency. So if they can keep even people who are together at different frequencies, they can actually stop the union of both being on the same wavelength and what that means moving forward. I hope that makes sense, but there's a lot of stuff. But this person, this sibling, was sent. This has been going on for 3 years. They were showing me this. 3 years actively. They've been working on this particular aspect of your bondage. Okay, that's not to say they weren't working before. Many of them were working before, but some of them have been going through some kind of process that was supposed to be an elevation. And I don't know whether it has been happening for 3 years because it was a 3-year process, or whether it's been 3 years because they kept failing. Because there's something here about over the past 3 years, you waking up more and more and more, and this becoming less of a possibility. Okay, for some of you, there is a parent involved in this too. Okay, so it's like a legacy thing also. So when I say that it's been 3 years with the sibling, it may have been a longer time. It may have been your whole life when it comes to dealing with a parent having done this to you because of their affiliation with these groups. Okay. This dream download, they were showing me a wedding, and this sibling, because they were not able to deliver you, they now are they're newlyweds to the very entity that they tried to bind you to or marry you to. Okay, so I don't really know what that means. I don't know what entity that was for all of you. I can put a guess out there that it was likely, you know, a marine entity, and if not that, I know an entity they definitely love to bind us to is Abaddon. You know, they love to bind us to that entity that is over destruction. Hence the reason why so much in your life would always just fall apart, because you were bound to that entity, Abaddon. So whatever it is they try to bind you to, whatever it is they try to bind you to marry you off to, you know, in that wedding ceremony, it's not you, it's them. And now things are about to start taking effect in the material realm. Not immediately, but it's already been signed, sealed, and delivered in the astral planes. This person is now married to the very entity they tried to bind you to in order to access your stuff and to access for themselves fame, riches, access, respect, whatever it is that they sold themselves out and you out for. Is there anything else? This wedding energy, these people are they're so crazy. They like to take everything that we consider to be a rite of passage or a ritual they do through their groups in terms of initiations. It's even why, like, on some of these TV shows and music videos, you see them you know, weddings and emulating that on award shows, especially because they love to use their award shows as rituals, performances. They love to do stuff like that, right? And it's all, people just think it's all entertainment, it's just fun, but it's not. It's a ritual. Like their main rituals are like fake baptism, death, weddings, births. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. The first card that came out was rich people, sick shit. Okay. I'm also picking up accidental poisoning was coming out. I'm also picking up that there's been a lot of portal and mirror magic. I've been picking that up throughout Gemini season. A lot of portal and mirror magic. A lot of trying to jump into your reality by utilizing portal magic. It feels like a lot of them have been having difficulty getting to you in dream state. So it's almost like they're trying to get into your home to monitor you by creating portals in your home to come through, whether it's through your bathroom mirrors, whether it's through the drains, whether it's through, you know, those are the usual suspects. Through antiques is another thing, through antique and vintage objects that haven't been cleared. For some of you, this person knows your home, had access to your home. Maybe you lived with them at a certain point, and they know how to maneuver through your home, and so they've been doing that, or trying to do that astrally, because it feels like they don't have the right. It feels like you've pretty much closed them out of your energy, and they can't get to you physically. And once upon a time they could. Once upon a time, you may have trusted them, even when they were doing this shit. You just didn't know, okay? So we do have accidental poisoning, rich people sick shit. We'll get into that a little bit more. We have hatred energy and evil eye. And we have territorial spirits. Also at the bottom of the deck, we have territorial spirits. We have gang stalking and false power in numbers. I feel like some of them have been trying to work with territorial spirits. Again, this would be about the land. This would be about the land that your property is on. This would be about utilizing territorial spirits also for portal magic. Also 0022 on my clock. There's something here about using multiple energies, multiple spirits. This gang stalking might very well be in person. It could be for some of you, but I'm really getting more than anything that this is to do with the portal jumping and with the territorial spirits. I do feel like it's like it's almost like seeking assistance wherever they can get it at this point. And as I say that, at the bottom we have stealing ground while ungrounded. So this person is, again, trying to enact all of these, all of this energetic fuckery against you, and they're not grounded, and you likely are, because one of the most important things you can do in warfare is to ground yourself. If you ground yourself and you become like a tree, and this is what spiritual warfare is really supposed to teach you as a divine being. You're supposed to learn how to root yourself so strongly in self that the storm comes and you will no longer be moved. A baby tree in the beginning, I was just sharing this with a client, I think just last week. In the beginning, a baby tree, when it hasn't developed roots, if a major storm comes, it can be uprooted. That baby tree is either going to be uprooted or it's going to sink its roots in deeper, and it's going to get stronger with every storm. This is the point. So as you have sunk your roots deeper into the ground with every storm, they have uprooted themselves. This is how energy works. This is why we see the Two of Pentacles. When somebody is connected to you in this way, either there's going to be a healthy flow of energy or there's going to be situations like this, okay? So we do have North Node block and South Node pull. So this person is specifically, there's something to do with your North Node that maybe you are aware of, or maybe you're not, but they're definitely aware of. There's something about your North Node placement specifically that is an area of interest for this group that this person has been, wanting to be initiated in. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to leave it there with that North Node energy because we're dealing with a collective reading, so there's multiple possibilities, 12 possibilities really for North Nodes, but I will say that they love to target those of you with that North Node in Cancer or North Node in Capricorn because of the Sirius gateway and how many divine beings come through that gateway, okay? So that's not an exclusive, but I want to put it out there because it's becoming more and more obvious. I get a lot of you guys coming to me for tarot astrology reports with that particular placement. It's becoming very, very obvious to me what's been going on with when the North Node is in Cancer, or even in Capricorn, but especially in Cancer, and what has occurred also globally in the world during those nodes, and why they've done what they've done. While you were sleeping. So yeah, this person has been trying, again, to get into your dreams. Dream binding. Accidental poisoning. I still want to know a little bit more about that. I don't feel like that's necessarily you, unless they've been trying to poison you in dream state, which is what they can do also. So be aware of anyone trying to give you food in dreams. You should anyway never take food in a dream. And if you do, there are things you can do afterwards when you wake up in order to undo that. But when people try to give you food in dreams, they are trying to bind you in some way most of the time, especially if this is a person who just don't take food from anyone in dreams, because there's just so much cloaking involved too. And if you do that, there are things that you can do when you wake up in the morning. Territorial spirits has come out, and we do have dream binding. So there's something here with some kind of, it has come out, the dream binding. There's something here to do with these territorial spirits and what it is they're trying to do to you in sleep state. Okay, I'm actually going to, we do have fourth house. Family, home, traditions, roots, mother. This could be a mother figure. If not a mother, it could be a female energy in the home. I mean, in the family. But it doesn't have to be. What I'm noticing, and I was picking up feminine energy for this person, I was. But when I leaned into it a little bit more and I was asking my guides, they were just like, it's feminine energy, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a woman. For some of you, this could be a brother. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's what it really is emphasizing here is the distorted feminine energy. You see, divine feminine energy has many properties and qualities, but one of them is that we are here to birth more beauty. We are here to be creators. We are here to facilitate the creation process by way of birthing and growing energies. We are the womb energy, right? This is the energy of someone who is trying to birth dysfunction. And, you know, even with this fourth house energy, which is very connected to, again, birthing and mother energy, it's Cancerian energy. And I did just mention, you know, the North Node in Cancer thing. This person is part of this consortium where their whole purpose on the earth plane has been to grow, has been to grow these energies of dysfunction and discord that kept us at war with self and one another. And they used our energy, our feminine energy, our emotional energy is very connected to feminine energy, cups energy, right? They've used that by implanting their mental energies for us then to incubate and grow them so that we create. So there's something here also about this person even wanting to mess with you in dream time by like planting seeds, dropping certain mental cues, programming you, like dropping things so that upon coming into your conscious reality, you begin to create from a place of, like I've spoken about in other readings, you begin to create from a false version of self, your matrix persona, your matrix identity, that version of self that they need you to align with in order for them to be able to have access to the divine resources that actually come back to you when you are in divine alignment. So everything is about keeping you out of divine alignment. But this method is specifically, it feels like they're trying to mind control, mind program you in sleep. And I keep feeling with this territorial spirits, it's not just territorial spirits, it's also to do with neighbors. It's to do with people who live next to you also. It's not just a spirit thing, like especially those of you who are dealing with gang stalking. This is not just, yeah, for many of you it might just be spirits, but this is also to do with like getting, anyway, where do you want me to go? A beautiful soul I've been working with for a minute sent me this lovely deck a few days ago. I'm going to use it tonight. Thank you again for gifting me with this deck. I think it's called the Everyday Witch. Something to do tarot. I forget what it's called, but it's a tarot deck and it's a witchy tarot deck, and I kind of like it because it's different visuals. That's too many cards. I want to get some more on this accidental poisoning. You know what I'm getting also, because this was actually coming out in the dream. In the dream, when this person was confronted, they pretended like it was an accident or like it was something they were not aware of. So that's showing me there's a lot. I told you that 8, 9, 10 of swords, that Gemini energy, it's all about gaslighting. It's all about mind fuckery. It's all about, you know, the foundation for that mind fuckery has already been set through the earlier energies of the sword suit. And the Gemini energy is a culmination. It's like, I don't know how to explain it other than it's just like, let's make sure they're completely mind fucked now, kind of thing. And to that extent, they will use all manner of energy to do that. It's not always nefarious in its appearance. You know, sometimes that being super nice to you after they've been really mean to you or something, that is a way to get you in your mind to be like, oh wait, they're not so bad after all. Maybe I had it wrong. Maybe blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to get you it's supposed to put you in that double-minded state. So originally you had made your mind up, you had decided that this person, people weren't good for you, etc., etc. You moved yourself away, and now they want to come and be super nice and do things for you, etc., etc., in order to distort the truth of what your soul has already brought light to. Okay? Two of Cups, Two of Cups, 5 of Wands at the bottom. Look at them. They're all around a cauldron, but they're arguing. Even their familiars look like they got beef with one another. Do you see this? And what is it over? I said this. 2 of Cups. This energy, this sibling, was supposed to... whatever it was they were supposed to do to you was supposed to put a block. It was supposed to cause chaos and confusion. 0033 on the motherfucking clock. It was supposed to cause chaos and confusion and blocks to you coming into union with your divine partner. Because in the spirit, if you were already married to this entity, then what it was going to produce for you in real time, in your physical, conscious, material reality, was non-stop chaos, confusion, and destruction in every romantic encounter you had. That was the point. There was something about securing that. For some of you, they've already been doing this to you your whole life, and maybe you weren't even married to this entity. Maybe you've been betrothed to it through some sick fuckery they've been doing from the time you were a child. They betrothed you to this entity. There was a time for you to come into union. And the time for you to come into union with this entity was at the time where, where you were supposed to come into union with a divine partner. The whole point is to stop this. I spoke about it in a few readings back, like how powerful some of these unions are that are coming forth into the world. They're here to root into energies, root into the new earth energies that once they get rooted in through the coming together of these beings, through the sharing of their frequencies, through the joining of their frequencies, through their sexual alchemy, what it's going to do, it literally is going to put an end to so much of the fuckery that kept the old world alive and functioning, including, and I mentioned this in another reading, taking these very entities of the old world and putting them back into their boundaries, into their borders, putting them back away. These divine partners, when they come into true union, that's what their energy is going to facilitate. So this person was trying to get you married off to this entity that ultimately you coming into union with your divine partner gives you authority over. I hope you're following me here. The entity that they were trying to marry you off to, and they, for some of you, like I got this message, they betrothed you to this entity since you were a child. That means probably, if this is you, you have not ever experienced stability in romance. Probably not even in friendships, but especially not in romance. You know, because sometimes these energies, they also come with like a curse of violence. Violence follows you wherever you go in these situations and scenarios with others. And it doesn't always have to be like physical violence. It can be mental, it can be emotional. You know, it can be the violence of it can be the violence of the toxicity that is birthed through. I don't know how to explain it. All I can say is this, okay? I come from a domestic violence background, right? And that was also largely due to spell work and a ritual sacrifice that didn't work the way it was supposed to, but still, okay? Violence isn't always physical. And I did not know that until I went specifically into counseling for domestic violence and family trauma. When my therapist asked me, oh, you know, have you ever been exposed? And I started to tell them a bit about my background and everything. And she was like, but I thought that you said that you never experienced it before your marriage. And I was just like, oh, I thought violence was just when somebody like beats the shit out of you or tries to kill you like he did to me. But no, it's not. It's more than that. So I say all of that because there's something here about how even in betrothing you to this energy from childhood, it created cycles in romance where you never could, I don't want to use the word belong because we don't belong to anyone, but you could never be at peace with your lover, with your partner, because you'd been betrothed. But there's something else that wants to come through here too. Oh, wow. This is going to be very triggering for some. So please, you know, especially if you're a victim of sexual violence and you're still healing, you might not want to continue watching from this place. But for some of you, the way that they betroth you to these entities as a child is through sexual abuse. It's tricky because it doesn't necessarily have to be in the physical, although for some of you, I'm sure it was, you know, and my heart goes out to you if that was the case. Like, I'm just so done with some of the things I've been witnessing, seeing. People have been coming to me about when it comes to children, and I can't, like. But for some of you, it's like, if you used to have dreams, for example, as a child, or visions where you would be involved with someone sexually, this is what it was. This is what it was. Dreams, visions, the actual thing. It's an offering, and sometimes it occurs astrally, purely in spirit. But for some of you, it also occurred in real time. And this is what it was. It was an offering. And in these situations, sometimes it's like you can't even enjoy. You might have had a lot of issues around sex, a lot of limitations, physically, mentally, emotionally. That's one thing. Sex and intimacy. And you can also tell when they're fucking with you, because it's going to affect that area of your life with your intended. It's almost as if you were supposed to stay like a virgin bride. This is what I'm getting, like a virgin bride. And to this extent, it's like, for many of you, especially if this goes back to these people doing this to you since you were a child, at every turn when you found stability in love, they did something to make sure that it would crumble, because you weren't even supposed to get that far. For some of you, like, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, you don't even know how many obstacles you already overcame before you were even aware of what was happening to you. Some of you, like I've said it before, some of you were never supposed to get married, have children, you know, and you did. That wasn't supposed to happen. There's something in this contract about like needing you to be alone. Partly, it's partly because of this entity, right? Because of the betrothal thing, but it's also to do with access to your sacral energies. It's almost like for as long as this person, people, for the past 3 years, it's a sibling, it's a legacy, like I said, for as long as they could keep you either in dysfunctional relationships, or they could keep you single, and they could keep this betrothal contract open between you and this entity up until the point where the ultimate sacrifice was supposed to occur, where you'd become the bride. For as long as they could do that, they had access to your sacral energy. They had access to your sacred energies. And again, I said it last time, I'll say it again. Many of these people were contracting you out to other industries that were using your sacral energy to create illusions within the context of the matrix system. And I've gone into that in other reasons. I don't feel like going into it today, but yeah. Check out the last reading if you want to know more about that. Four of Pentacles. This person has been trying to hold on. This person has been trying to hold on to this person has been trying to hold on to this union. They've been trying to hold on to trying to keep their hold on your energy to prevent this. Again, well, yeah, we have the star at the bottom. So this is a double message. It's like, well, the reason why they can't do that is because literally you have like the planets and the constellations assisting you at this time. You have Gaia assisting you. You have so many energies that are assisting you because it's time. It's time. But then on the other hand, too, this again is showing me the interference with birth charts. And the interference with your rise in the age of Aquarius. Because the star, again, the star is Aquarius energy. So the interference with your rise in the age of Aquarius and the interference of you healing so that you become a healer. So you're no longer wounded. Again, this energy is coming through. It's been coming through for weeks. I said it in Gemini season. I've been saying it for weeks. Gemini is connected to the hands, right? Many of you have profound healing abilities that come through the hands. There's something about the preventing of this from occurring. There's something also about the coming together with your divine partner in true union that helps you to up level this. I spoke about this in the reading I did about divine partners 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I mentioned, and I pissed off somebody who was very religious, but you know what? I don't even know how you made it that far in that video anyway, if you hold the beliefs you hold, in all frankness. But what I was explaining was how Mary Magdalene, it said in the hidden scriptures that they actually don't want you to know about, but not even just there, but also a lot of people have channeled this energy. This isn't anything new. This isn't like me bringing something new into the equation. It's said that Mary Magdalene and Jesus practiced sexual alchemy. It's said that even Mother Mary came through the Egyptian school of like, what was it called? I forget. It was like the Egyptian school of wisdom. They all came through that, right? And it's said that this is that the way that Jesus was able to fully unlock the fullness of his multidimensional abilities on the earth plane in the midst of the matrix enslavement bullshit was because of practice with Mary, sexual alchemy, raising their kundalini together in order to unlock his multidimensional access, which oftentimes has to do, again, with your sacral energies. Hence the reason why sexual alchemy is kind of a big deal, right? So there's something here about when you come into union with your partner, your divine partner. And again, you can already be with this person and know they're your divine partner. It doesn't mean that you're actually walking in union yet. Or at least not to the extent that is available to you. Let's put it that way. Okay? And when you both reach a certain frequency and you're on that same wavelength and you can come together on that wavelength and move forward in it and then create from that place, is when so much stuff is going to start to become unlocked in both of you. And this is what they're trying to prevent, because like I said to you before, this entity wants you married to them, because once you are actually with your divine partner in union, you are the one who has the authority over this entity to put it back into its borders. Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands. Ooh. And the Three of, sorry, I just dropped that in water. It's okay. And maybe it needed to be cleared. The Three of Cups. This has been coming up a lot over the past few days for me. The Three of Cups. It just keeps on coming up. Three of Cups, of course, is Cancerian energy. It's the second decan of Cancer. And that's when the nodes will be switching. But the Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is all about carrying burdens that don't belong to you. And oftentimes you're carrying them because there's some kind of ancestral energy attached. The Ten of Wands is also, again, it's Sagittarius energy. It's Sagittarius energy. It's what you must go through in order to break all illusions off so you're able to walk in your truth. But the Ten of Wands is also that energy of people who try to put extra burdens and boundaries and all this other shit around you in order to keep you stuck, in order to keep you forever climbing the mountain and never getting to the zenith. That's kind of it. And even as you get to the top, it's like miraculously the mountain gets taller again. That might be actually the energy you've been feeling. You know, like I said to you, there's this trying to cleanse this person out of your energy for a while. And every time you feel like you've gotten to a place where, you know, you've accomplished and achieved this, they throw something else at you. And of course, it's not as effective as it ever was before, but it's still a pain in the ass. It's like, when the fuck are you going to get the point that I'm not to be fucked with, kind of thing, you know? And the Three of Cups, this has been coming up a lot over the past few days. This is the energy of plotting and celebrating, meaning that they were celebrating the obstacles they were placing on your path. They were celebrating every time you fell prey to their bullshit. They were celebrating. And not only that, but it feels like this energy of people coming together again over the past few weeks, days, especially in the month of May, to try to make sure that your mountain, once again, you saw the top and all of a sudden, magically out of nowhere, it got taller again, you know? I don't think they'll be celebrating now, though, because whatever it was that they were supposed to, Seven of Pentacles is showing, whatever it was that they were supposed to do or to enact, when this person was prepared to go all the way. As far as your energy was concerned, they were prepared to go all the way, and all the way they've gone. They have gone all the way. They have gone all the way. Except now they're married to this energy. And in all frankness, I don't even know if this person is like consciously aware that this is what has happened in their reality. I don't know. I don't know if whatever order or group they're with, like they told them, okay, well now since you didn't, you got to go through this wedding ceremony. Yada, yada. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is what I saw in dream time. And there was a wedding. Whether they know that they were at the wedding, just like they try to put you in weddings that you didn't know you were a part of. We have the Six of Pentacles. And at the bottom we have the Five of Cups. Sorry. The Five of Cups, which... No. The Five of Cups is Scorpio energy, 0 to 10 degrees. Okay, so that's what we're in now. The moon just entered 0 degrees Scorpio. 0 to 10 degrees, and we are in that energy of the nodes. We are in Five of Cups energy and Five of Pentacles energy. And then we got the Six of Pentacles has actually come out here. And the Six of Pentacles energy it's about fairness. At its core, that's what it's about. It's about the execution of fairness by rebalancing something, or how people try to get away with not giving someone their fair share. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. But I'm also getting with this Five of Cups, there's something about this moon also in Scorpio as we move to Sagittarius, and the fact that, let me think about this a second. This will not be the last time the moon is in Scorpio before the node switch. We have one more time when the moon is in Scorpio before the nodes switch. Yeah, we have one more time when the moon is in Scorpio before the nodes switch. So I'm going to guess that when that occurs, maybe it will already be 1 or 0 degrees, probably 1 degree. Because the nodes switch on July 18th, just before the close of Cancer season. So I think we have 1 more moon. 2 moons max, but I think just 1 more moon. There's something about the moon in Scorpio and this energy and how things are going down. 6 of Pentacles is Taurus energy, so we got sister energies here, Taurus and Scorpio. This person really felt like they were going to get the upper hand. They were going to get the bigger cut. They were going to run away with something that wasn't their own. They were going to get away with not being fair. They thought that they could continually have you spill your cups before you in order to also get you stuck in energies of like pain and regret. And they also thought that they would have you through this process so focused on what you lost that you wouldn't be able to rise. They thought they would have you so focused on what you lost that you would never come back and take rightfully what is yours that they'd stolen. First of all, they never thought you'd wake up and know it was them. And second of all, they thought even if the possibility occurred, you'd be so distraught, so busy trying to pick up the pieces of your life as they threw more shit on your path, that they would continue undetected. And furthermore, they also thought that for as long as they kept you distracted and in pain, that you would stay in states of feeling unworthy, so you would never want something divine for yourself. You would never want this 2 of Cups. But you woke up. You woke up and you saw through all of their masks. There could be about 3 people involved in this. This person could have been working with people who live on islands. A lot of this magic has been coming through as being international in many ways. They could have been doing that. There could have been sea magic involved. That would make sense, especially if it's they were feeding off of your sacral. Mary Magdalene comes to protect a lot. She works with the energy of the sea for that reason too. Could have been sea magic. Definitely marine energies involved here. Which is always the case when you're dealing with these things, because the entirety of the Matrix was run off of what they called maritime law, right? So everything is based upon these marine energies and entities. For some of you, you also, they were also they've been casting spells against you to get you addicted. Maybe alcoholism, maybe to be an alcoholic. What spilled before her are cups of wine. They could have been trying to do things in that way to get you addicted. I'm also seeing that some of them, it's like this is the state of their altar right now. Like some of them, may have been giving something in a chalice, and that was another way that they knew that their offering had been rejected, Island magic. I'm really getting island magic. Maybe you're from an island originally. Maybe you live on an island. Some of you work with the sea, you work with the ocean. In fact, maybe it's the sea and the ocean that's been protecting you and helping you to clear yourself of these energies. Maybe you've been working with benevolent sea energies, benevolent river energies, like big living bodies of water have been protecting you, as well as the trees. With the palms here also, that could be an energy connected to deities that you work with. this is not where you are right now. You're not crying over the spilled wine. You're not crying over the spilled wine. For some of you, this very person who was trying to cast spells against you to get you out of your mind, in a state of confusion, addicted, drunk, all of that, that's what they're going through now too. That's what they've signed on for themselves, because that energy is coming back to them. For some of them also, within the context of this order, they're about to go through a humiliation ritual where they're about to lose something. For some of them, another message that was coming through a few days ago was like, and I see how it's connected to this now. It was, they gambled this time around everything. Meaning that they had tried so hard to get you before, and they weren't able to. So you know how when a person is like playing high stakes, well, it doesn't even have to be high stakes, but they're at a casino and they're at the card table, and they keep losing, but then they get this hand and they're just like, oh, this is going to be it. I haven't had a hand like this before. I'm just going to go all in, and they put all of their money in, and then they lose it all with a hand that's really good, but it's not as good as the hand that someone else has, and they've lost everything at this point. This is the energy I'm feeling right now. And not only that, but before this person went all in, they were whining and complaining that it wasn't fair that they had to do this, that they had to pay this, that they had to. That was another download I was getting last week. I could hear them. It's not fair. Why can't I just do it like this time? There was something they had to pay. Why can't I just go for this person this time? And blah, blah. And it's to do with the fact that you have, if this reading is for you, you have leveled up. So with each level up, whatever it is that they've been trying to do to you, the price to do it is steeper. Whether they're paying it in money, they're paying it in, what it is they're getting in reputation, it doesn't matter. Every time they tried to come at you again for a redo, the price got higher. And this person went and put themselves all in, and they've lost everything. Okay, and when I say everything, maybe it's financial. I don't know. I don't know what kind of things they had to give, but I do know that this person in the dream was getting married to the entity that they meant for you to be married to. That's what I do know. With this 10 of Wands in this 4th house, you've broken some kind of huge ass ancestral, generational curse. Probably came through your mother's line, doesn't have to. Either came through your mother's line, or it's something that is like very much affected the women in your family in general. 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. There's a switching happening here. There's a switching happening here. Oh, I can see this too. We've got the 8 of Cups. We got the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom. 8 plus 5 is 13. Anyway. This is actually a going backwards, is what I'm getting here. The 8 of Cups to the 5 of Pentacles is a going backwards, because the 8 of Cups, in terms of manifesting energy, the next stop should be the 8 of Pentacles, and then we get to the 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. It should be going in that way. You manifest something on earth, you go back into the spirit move through the mental, emotional planes. It's how it works. You go through the numbers. That's how energy actually manifests through the tarot, right? As well as through the suits from Ace to 10. So with this 8 of Cups to 5 of Pentacles, this is going backwards. And I don't think this is you. This is going backwards. And in all frankness, I think you've already done this. I think you've already gone backwards. I think, and when I say gone backwards, I mean you've gone back in time to deal with a lot of stuff. You've done past life regression. You've done healing. You're not the wounded healer anymore. You are the healer, or you're about to become it, because you weren't afraid to go back in time and deal with those parts of self that had been wounded and exploited, and that you were unconsciously living from. This person thought they were taking you back in order to get you stuck in 5 of Pentacles so that they would have the 10 of Pentacles. But what ultimately happened is that you did go back, and maybe you did experience, like energies of poverty and lack. Maybe you did lose everything. Maybe you've had nothing financially, right? In the process, maybe you lost everything because of this shit. Maybe every time you accrued something, you lost it again. But what it ultimately did was it took you back in order to heal you. It took you back so that you could step now into the 10 of Pentacles, and it would be protected, because these energies would no longer be like the locust eating your harvest that you weren't even aware of. So while this person thought they were continually binding you and taking you back in time and keeping you stuck there, you kept on finding your way back and out. And in doing that, now the reverse has occurred, because that's how energy works. This is why you're supposed to work together with people in peace. Because energy, the 2 of Pentacles, when you're tied to someone energetically, either you're going to be tied together in unity, or there's going to be this kind of extremes in what people are experiencing. You're moving the fuck on, okay? You're moving the fuck on, and you already have. You're focused on your stability, and this person was focused on creating a life of stability off of your imbalance and poverty, and that didn't happen. It's not going to happen. It didn't happen. It won't happen. 10 of Cups at the top of the deck. 2. The 10 of Cups becomes the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, I want to wrap this up now. Let's get some guidance for you moving forward with these energies. Continue to clear and cleanse. Continue to call your shit back. Continue to protect yourself in dream time. Continue to clear yourself of this energy. Cut cords with this person daily if you have to. But also know that it feels like there's something, that energy of like every time you got to the top of the mountain extending, it feels like that mountain can't be extended anymore. And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden your life is going to become hunky-dory, because, things must, like come through mental, emotional planes and then form themselves into material reality. But I can tell you, spiritually speaking, it feels like you busted out of a contract that was supposed to culminate with your being bound to an entity, which would have bound you out of ascension too. Let's be real about that too, which is why this person is going to be in a fuckload of trouble, because the beings that I tend to work with and I tend to attract, you guys have, you guys are trailblazers in this whole situation, and it's not a good idea to block beings like you, especially, you know, as you come into the fullness of your divine alignment. It's not a good idea to do that. It's not a good idea to try and get in the way of you and your destiny and what it is that you've been contracted to do, or you signed up to do in this ascension. It's not a good idea. A big message coming through is to really, for some of you, you really need to get lost in your creative processes again. So at the bottom we have take a walk or talk to someone you trust. Clear your mind of mental blocks. So this is asking you to stir up your own mental energy. There's some mental stagnancy that needs to be shifted, either by way of expressing, so you can express it to someone else, expressing it like, you know, doing your thing. If you have a channel or whatever, like expressing your truth moves mental stagnancy, okay? Or going for a walk and allowing the element of air to help move some of those energies, 111 on the clock, okay? But what has also been coming through is this need to reconnect to your creativity, but to do it in a way that doesn't feel like it is a duty. I feel like many of you, because in the attempt to get your creativity back, or to be able to connect with it again because of everything that was going on, sometimes it became a struggle. It became like having to do things dutifully because you were trying to fight it, or even feeling guilty when you didn't feel like doing things, or, you know, there's a heaviness around your creative energy that is there because of this, and because of the battle you've been, because of what this person has tried to do. And it's time for you to reconnect with the creative aspect that is all about play and joy. It's time for you to create just because you can, and because you do, and because it brings you joy. Okay, so we also have here, create loose structure, not a rigid plan, but a tangible way forward. So this again is about, it's this energy of not being overly hard on yourself as you move forward. One more message coming through with the creativity. It's also important for you to connect with the creativity in ways that feel good and bring you joy and pleasure, because it's important for you to also reconnect with your sacral energy and continue to call it back. And as you call it back, you must use it. Okay, as you call back your sacral energy, there's no point in calling it back and letting it stagnate, because that's going to cause you emotional heaviness. When you call it back, you must start to use it now too. Okay, you must, you know, take, like I'm seeing the Fool card, you must take that step off of the mountain, and you must begin to create, and create without pressure and expectations for what it's supposed to be, or what you're supposed to do with it, just to create for the joy and the fun of it, to rediscover that aspect or reconnect with that part of self again. Okay, for those of you who have goals moving forward and out of this, you know, and it can be a financial goal, it can be a creative goal, it can be a career goal, it can be like moving away from certain, it can be any goal. Whatever it is that you have, create loose structure. Do not become too rigid in anything. Do not become too connected with the expectation and how you think it should happen right now. And the reason why I feel this is coming up is because your team wants to help to move you forward, but they want to help to move you forward in ways that are possibly bigger than even you are aware of. And when we become too rigid in how we think things are supposed to unfold, then what we're actually doing is putting limitations and blocks on our own path as to how that energy can begin to come towards us. Okay, so have an idea. have some focus, but don't become married to the outcome like this idiot did. Yeah, you might be seeing 7-7 a lot, 4-4, 4-4-4, 7-7-7. Yeah, that's what I have for you guys. That's it. I hope that this reading was helpful and insightful. I hope that it gave you extra confirmation, and also maybe helped you to connect the dots where you were needing a little bit more information. Yeah, I'm wishing you guys love, joy, peace, stability, harmony, vitality, prosperity, good health, fortune, restored luck, and magnetism and charisma. Everything that was stolen from you, I call back. And I wish you the highest of everything that brings beauty, because that is your birthright as a divine being. Those are your birthrights, contrary to what they told you, what they told us. Okay, I will be coming back. I don't know if I'll be coming back for a reading, but I'll definitely be posting something on the community board. I do have some changes that are coming up in the month of June. I have some specials. I did mention before that I was going to do some love readings for you guys. I've been seeking help in that area to figure out how best to do that. And I am going to offer various ways, but I think the main way I'm going to do it is, again, through kind of like mentorship. But I'm going to have some specials around that for the month of June. I have some changes coming to Daily Alchemy members portal. I will be moving platforms, and I will let you guys all know about that soon too. What else? What else? Yeah, I think that's all. That's all. If you would like to work with me, my information is always going to be in the description box below. Please make sure before you send me an email that you've already checked out my website to see what it is that I do offer, and come to me with either a question around that or ready to book. Yeah, so I do not offer a checkout on my website because I like to know who's coming to me before I agree to work with you. And that's it, I think. That's it. I can never really remember all of these admin things at the end. Thank you to all of you who have donated. Thank you again to the beautiful soul who donated that deck. If you would like to donate to the channel or donate a deck, that information, my PayPal and my wish list, are also in the description box directly below. But this is where I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you again soon. Until next time, be well.